All right, so this is the little handheld auger I was telling you guys about. It was given to me quite a few years ago. Kind of one of those ran when parked kind of deals. And I'm gonna spend just a couple minutes trying to get it to run. I want to get one eventually for the Kubota, a big one, but at the moment I do not have one for the Kubota, but I do have this one, so we're just going to use what we've got. The pull string here has broken, so I ran to the hardware store and picked up another pull string, and we're just going to put some gas in this thing and fix the pull string and see what happens. There is a possibility that this thing might just start right up. Slim possibility, but a possibility. And it appears that this might be the last ride. I think the motor's stuck. I've been playing with it. I can see the piston moving in there a little bit, but it definitely appears to be stuck. So I'm gonna have to play with this thing for a minute. All right, so we had to spray some penetrating oil in here. I got this freed up and now it's spinning. So we're gonna let this sit for a minute while I was taking off my hose, my fuel line. I wasn't being careful enough and this old brittle plastic cracked a little bit. So this could also be a little bit interesting to try and get that, see if that's going to leak or not. I was just going to put gas in this thing just to see if it would even hit with a little bit of carburetor or a little bit of starting fluid. But since I had to take it off, I'm not going to take the carburetor apart yet, because with that engine being that stuck and rusted, it may not even begin to fire. So I'm just simply going to blow this carburetor out and try and get it good enough to all I want to do is just see if it's going to hit with some starting fluid before I spend any extra time on it. I said I wasn't going to take the carburetor apart, but here I am, taking the carburetor apart. All right, let's see what happens here. Whoa, well, I wasn't expecting that. Alright, all I gotta do is fix that fuel line. It's not getting any fuel. Alright, back from the auto parts. Got some new spark plug, some fuel line, and the fittings we need. So wasted plenty of time on this thing, so we're gonna spend a few more minutes, see if we can't get it running good and put it back together so we can actually get started. Went down a rabbit hole. It happens, especially to me. So a lot of times with a lot of these rubber fittings, I don't want to get this thing too hot. All I'm doing is just heating it up just a little bit until I can get it to slip up over that other piece on the carburetor. Don't want to melt it too much. There we go. Basically molding it to fit. Heating it up just enough to make it want to do what I want it to. There we go. Now when that cools, that's going to be a nice tight fit there. Uh-oh. Alright, so I just lost a tiny little spring that I need, because without it will not work. Alright, let's go get a magnet. Alright, so I managed to find a spring. Some people make fun of me because I don't like saying it, but I am a quasi hoarder. But it comes in handy from time to time, because that little spring that I lost is tiny and went down into tall grass, and I don't think that it will ever be found again. All right. So after my rabbit hole adventure, let's see what happens here. We're gonna see if it runs or not. And I figured out what the problem was before. Didn't think about it, but this is worn out. And what this is an air vent. So the reason I kept not getting any fuel at all is because this was closed all the way and it's rusted a little bit tight. So it was air locking the fuel tank because you're supposed to open that little screw up. So I'm just setting the screw cap up there and all right, so you can see, you know, this thing was locked up when I started. You can see it is, well, I put that oil in there too, and that's not helping where I sprayed that oil. And every time I open the choke a little bit, it dies. So I'm not sure that this is so it's still not wanting to get quite enough fuel. I'm wondering if I put just a little bit of too small fuel line on it. Could also be just because it stopped up. Let's check. So I'm looking here at the You can see there's teeth right here. And those actually don't look, yeah, I might have to see about getting a new cutting head. That might be, oh yeah, see, so here's why I'm not digging it all. All right, there we go. So if you notice right here, this side, you know, has a little edge on it. This you can see right there where it's broke off. So that's broke off, so that's one reason it's not cutting, but you can see this comes out. So I can take that out, and I should be able to get a new one of those cutting heads. I'll be. I think if I put a new head on it, it might actually cut fairly fast. I know I could have dug a lot of holes today and the time I've spent messing with this thing. Rabbit holes will get you every time, especially me. I was determined to get this thing to work. It works-ish. So, we're gonna put up all our tools here and we're gonna go get started. Oh, I meant to get started on like 3 hours ago. Don't think we're gonna get it finished tonight.